and welcome. Who's opening up the show?
I guess you are, pal.
Welcome to another fine, fantastic holiday version of It's a Sports Show. Kind of threw me off guard. Number 185.
All of a sudden you pop up. I thought I got a face change.
I don't know what
Don't
happened.
people usually get those facial changes for the better?
I definitely have a face made for radio, no doubt about it.
Dude, you're cracking me up, man. 2 seconds before we're about to go on, you've been sucking on this candy cane for the last 25
well, it's
minutes.
Christmas.
You have candy cane all over your lips. It's ridiculous. You look like a mess.
I apologize. I'm a sloppy eater, but you know, my sports life is just so bad, specifically in football.
That's because you don't care. But you shut baseball down as soon as the World Series is over. And so you got no hot stove to enjoy. So when your crappy-ass
I have hot
Dolphins,
stove, and I told you we would
when
get
your
to it.
crappy-ass Dolphins are playing like crap, okay, they're playing more like the feces that follow the Dolphins. How do you like them apples?
Can you say that on cable? Feces?
I just did. I could have said worse things. And when they're playing like
Yeah,
that, you have nothing to follow
and
now.
your 49ers are tearing up the league, giving the Patriots a great draft pick. Of course, you got other options because you like
no one likes hockey.
31 other teams.
And you're not into golf because that stuff is over. I mean, at least you're maybe a little into the Celtics. You following the Celtics?
Absolutely,
All
love
right.
the Celtics.
So at least you have something to
16
follow on.
championships, baby.
None as of recent times.
No recent ones,
Anyway,
but it's coming.
Show 185, 15 left for our big number
200.
200.
We're starting plans on
I don't
that
know anybody
already.
in this state that does 200 shows on an access channel. Actually, Jeff Starr, the famous one.
Who's Jeff Starr?
Jeffree Star.
Who's Jeff?
Late night.
Nah, just kidding. Just
Who doesn't know
kidding.
him? It's like saying you don't know Rudy Giuliani.
Jeff Starr's not bad, but he's no It's a Sports Show.
He's up to I think he's in the 220s somewhere. But we caught up to him fast. He only does a show once a month. But he's a living legend.
Is he?
And I don't know if we'll ever catch him because, man, 200 comes about. I'm retiring if we make it that far.
Are ya?
If I haven't been killed or, you know.
Is there a reason why you're
Thrown off the
retiring?
show.
I mean, could you let us know?
We'll wait till 200 to see if I really feel like retiring.
Well,
I'll let you know at like 199.
let me know. Cause
People at home are like, yeah. All we need to do is get rid of the guy on the side of him, and that show's gone forever.
No way. I got big plans for a new sports show.
After
Big.
I leave.
After you
I got
leave.
big plans. Not now.
After
but
you
later.
leave, we will
right.
discard It's a Sports Show, but we're going to do something big.
Something real. Something for serious. All right.
No, serious is not my vocabulary. We'll do something. Let's talk some sports.
Can we talk about Red Sox later? Is that what you're telling me? You
Absolutely,
promise?
hot stove.
Got to leave at least a few minutes for
No,
that.
listen.
Big news with
there's
the Red
not
Sox.
there's not a ton of football.
Okay.
Well, there is a ton of football, but in general, I
Well,
think,
you know, Patriot Nation is having a heart attack because 2 weeks in a row now, it's been fairly tight. And we thought last week's game was tight. This past one on Monday Night Football was right down to the wire. So, I mean, you know, Patriot fans, like we said last show, they have something to complain about because they're not blowing away other teams. Whereas on the flip side of things, the non-Patriot fans like yourself, who makes it a point to go out of their way to bash the Patriots, you got nothing to talk about now that they're not running up the score. So, you know, Patriot Nation, strong. They've already wrapped up the division, and it wasn't even December at that point.
they're not running up the score, but they're one of the luckiest teams in the history of sports.
Lucky now. Are you one of
Did you
those
see
that are
game
bitching about the
Did
calls?
you watch the whole game last night?
No, I did not. I teach
Oh.
now. I go to bed at 9:30 and wake up at 5:30. I don't see any Monday Night Football. I have no life.
All right. We haven't done a show in a while. Last 2 games they played, 2 close games by relative standards, 2 humongous point spreads.
Denver,
Philly went into New England, and if not for A.J. Feely's mistake at the end of the game, which he played a pretty good game, but, you know, he didn't complete at the end. Close game. Yesterday, with 5 minutes to go, I thought that was it. I thought they were going to lose their first football game.
Yeah.
The Baltimore Ravens took it to the Patriots. They really did, especially what shocked me offensively. They pounded the ball on New England.
Sure did.
New England, you know, I told a prominent sports talk show host, not Scott Cray, but his counterpart, we were watching it over at the track. I said, listen, this doesn't look like a championship defense. And he agreed. The Ravens were pounding the crap out of the ball and having their way with New England. And also, there was one time when New England went on 3 straight 3-and-outs, which is unbelievable.
Right.
So the Ravens played a great game. Unfortunately, it came down to No, I'm not crying about the officials. I mean, the officials were inconsistent.
Because there was a little crying about that this morning on
There
Sports
was,
Talk
but-
Radio.
And Patriots fans do too. And you know what? We've talked about this before. I'm not just saying this because I'm a Dolphin. You know, with the Patriots Super Bowl runs, they've been many of the beneficiary of decent calls. I don't want to hear this crap about everybody's against, Randy Moss Randy Moss pushes off almost every other play.
Yeah, he does.
Now,
And they're starting to watch for that
Well,
now.
great receivers find a way to do that. So, you know what I'm saying? I'm just saying there's only so much you can talk about the referees. I didn't hear anybody bash the referees with the tuck rule in the year after when they played the Colts in the AFC Championship game. And there was all kinds of holding and stuff like that. Everybody says, oh, they're just crying. So we got to cut that out. But yesterday basically came down to this. The Ravens couldn't get a first down. They punted the ball to the Patriots. The Patriots came down, fourth down.
Yep.
I'm just explaining this to you because you didn't see the game.
This is a great. I did hear about this.
Well, the Patriots ran the ball, got stuffed.
Brady tried a QB sneak, right? Am
No,
right?
I think they handed off.
Okay.
And all of a sudden, everybody's like, jumping up and down. The referee says, no. Timeout,
was
Ravens.
called.
You see the Ravens on the sideline. You see all the players going, what? Everybody's yelling.
Ravens defensive
Call timeout. No
coach.
play.
Right.
Here's the thing a lot of people don't know. A defensive coach cannot call a timeout. Not allowed to.
Really?
Only the the head coach can call a timeout.
Yep.
And any player on the field. But I guess in the heat of the moment with the crowd and everything,
They heard timeout.
they stopped the clock. Okay. Next play. Handoff, Patriots get stuffed. Yeah, game's over. Dolphins can break out the champagne. Whoop.
Flag.
False start, New England. Now, that's what I mean about being fortunate. And look, when you're good, good things happen. I don't
Right.
mean to sound like a crybaby, because we all know the Patriots are a great football team, okay? But even when they got penalized, they almost got rewarded for it.
Right, because Brady says, "Oh, now I could drop back and pass."
Well, not only that, you get another chance. The game
Right.
would have been over.
Right.
Because it was, a minute change to go.
Right.
So they get another chance. And I told someone, I said, this is going to back Brady up to 5 or 6 yards. That's perfect.
Just what he
With
needs.
all his receivers, what he could do. And he ran for the first down.
Yep.
Another 3 plays will go by. Fourth down. Throw it into the end zone. Incomplete. Yeah. Break out the champagne.
Not yet.
Penalty flag. Pass interference, Baltimore.
Puts him on the.
And the Patriots finally scored. But I will say this. It was a pass interference. I mean, if it was
Right.
close, I'd say, you don't call it there. As much as I'd love the Patriots to lose, for obvious reasons, that was a pass interference.
Bottom line.
The Colts got mad. How about this? Not to interrupt you, and I know I've been talking a lot. The guy grabs the flag, the guy from Baltimore.
Right.
Throws it into the crowd.
Yep.
I'm driving home from where I was.
And it hit you.
No, yeah, well, the guy goes, well, we got a few penalties on Baltimore. They're punting from the Baltimore Raven 35. I mean, kicking off from the Baltimore Raven 35. Even my wife says,
That
did
doesn't
they say
sound
they're
right.
kicking off from the Ravens 35? So that was unbelievable. And, of course, ironically, last play of the game ended up on a 2-yard line. But and that's the only reason I said, listen, they were fortunate to win the game. People were like, oh, yeah. No, I mean,
They took advantage.
just admit it. I mean, just admit you're fortunate to win that football game.
Well, it all comes, and you kind of
Come on,
even
eat
said this.
my candy cane
Eat your
now.
candy
Well,
cane.
while
Make
you
it
talk.
messy yourself. You're talking about the Patriots being fortunate to win the game. The fact of the matter is, Baltimore gave the Patriots extra chances to produce something, stuffed them, gave them another chance, stuffed them, gave them another chance. So I don't know so much if that's fortune, that when the other team is making a mistake, there's nothing fortunate about that. However,
Why not?
capitalizing
If the
on
game
it,
is over and the other team called an inadvertent timeout,
I don't know, that doesn't seem fortunate to me. That's taking advantage of
well, I mean,
a
certainly they took
situation.
advantage of every opportunity, but the game could have been over a couple times.
Yeah, you're right.
That's all I'm saying. I mean, that's all I'm saying. And here's the big question. The Patriots' last 2 games, their defenses looked very vulnerable.
Yes.
All right, now
And you were
people can
talking
say what they
about-
want. They don't get up for teams that they're not supposed to be. Blah 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 blah. But I think that's a worry if you're a Patriot fan, because as we know, once you get into the playoffs, most teams are good. Most teams have a good defense. Now,
Yep.
I don't think the Patriots' defense is as bad as they were yesterday.
Right.
but they've showed some vulnerabilities.
They look soft.
Dallas Thomas went back home to Baltimore. I thought he played terrible.
Yep.
Now they're playing a team this week, albeit at home, which is the big thing, the Pittsburgh Steelers with Ben Roethlisberger. Let's not forget, they played A.J. Feely and Kyle Bola. Not exactly, Joe Montana and Dan Marino. So
Right.
that's a little bit of a worry for the Patriots fan base, especially on defense. Now, the flip side is your offense can score almost every time.
Yep.
But if they're off a little bit, like I know yesterday Benjamin Watson dropped a couple passes, Randy Moss dropped a couple passes. If you're not clicking, be careful. That's all I can say.
Well,
Now,
you talked about Cordishi's cohort there, Brian Morey.
Maury, who, by the way, is leaving.
Is he really?
Congratulations. Yes,
I didn't
he
even
is.
catch that.
He's going to be the new executive director of the Players Hall of Fame. So,
Wow.
good for him. Brian's a good guy. I know him personally, and I wish him all the luck in the world.
Excellent. Well, he had, who do they have on today on the way in? Was it Ben Watson, actually? I
Ben
think?
Watson, yes.
They had Big Ben on, and Brian had mentioned that to Watson, that they looked very kind of lackadaisical and soft. Almost like, and what I wonder, and I couldn't listen to the rest of the interview, I wonder if it's, and I'm sure Coach Belichick wouldn't allow this, is it that they've gotten lazy from being spoiled over these blowouts, or is it just that they're getting tired? It's that time of year.
Well, I mean, there's a couple things. One, you could be right. A lot of teams have a lull. I mean, they've won so many games in a row. It's human nature. It's what people sometimes fail to understand. And sometimes they fail to give credit to the other team.
Sure.
And I'm not saying this because I'm a Miami fan. Sometimes people say, well, the score should have been 50-3 if Ben Watson didn't drop that.
Right.
Well, you haven't analyzed all of Baltimore's plays either. I mean, when you play sports, you give credit to the other team.
Right.
But then you got to analyze yourself. What did we do wrong?
Right.
And it's not a slap in the face of the other team. A lot of people are like, if we didn't do this, if we did that, we did that. Well, how about giving Baltimore credit?
Sure.
They were flying all
There's
over
a lot
the
of
place.
credit to be given to Baltimore with that
No, I
defense
agree.
led by.
And, as much as the Patriots are a great team, excuse me, you're not going to win every game by 40.
Right.
I mean, sometimes the players joke and we all laugh and say, yeah, they get paid too. They're on scholarship or whatever. It's true. I mean, NFL, you're in Baltimore. They got some pride. They got a pretty good defense, although haven't played great this year. I mean, that's a tough venue. There's no game in the NFL that's virtually guaranteed, unless you play my Dolphins.
Even that, I'm still waiting for them
really,
to pull something
I mean,
off
those
at
guys
some
are
point.
all pros, and, you have to play your best. I thought at this point that the Patriots losing would be one of the best things that could happen to them. That's my
Perfect
opinion.
timing at this time of year.
Well, not only that, I don't know if you agree or not, but no matter how great you are, man, the pressure is going to build. Okay, Randy Moss dropped a couple balls yesterday.
Sure he did.
Now, this is 12-0. Imagine 14. Imagine 15. Imagine the last game of the year.
Right.
Imagine not just a playoff game. Now you've
Perfect season and then going into
carrying
the
it
playoffs.
over.
Yep.
Then
yep.
you've got the AFC Championship. How about the Super Bowl?
Well, that's
Undefeated.
what I mean by perfect timing. Maybe they need to lose a game. And didn't this already happen one year fairly recently that they were going on for quite a while undefeated, and they finally lost a game, and it was actually decent timing for that to happen. They got on a roll, and they went all the way at that
Well,
point.
I mean, I don't know. Only time will tell. But
Yeah.
this week they have another tough matchup in the Pittsburgh Steelers. So, but it's in Foxborough. So, I mean, again, I don't see the Patriots losing. Nobody does, but it's always that one game you say, wow, gee, how'd this happen? How'd that happen? Almost like yesterday. And,
Yep.
and that's what it is. But I mean, you've got to give Baltimore credit. All I said was Patriot. To give a lot of Patriot fans credit, I talked to them a lot today. They said, yeah, you know what? We've been real good. Yesterday we were lucky.
Yep.
So what? You won the game.
It happens.
You know what I mean?
Doesn't matter at the end. A win's a win,
Nobody will question it.
Some of the other games going around the league, talk about our teams a little. San Francisco 49ers.
Very little.
Really not that much better than the Miami Dolphins. There's not much for me. They lost yet another game. There was such high expectations for them. And, the first couple of games, they looked really sharp. And they just have not looked the same
Well, it's
since.
tough. It's one of those years where you have a good year before you make strides. Now you expect the world, and
A la the
sometimes
Cincinnati Bengals.
and sometimes you take a step back. Excuse me, before you go forward again. So
Yep. Yeah, the Bengals are under that situation as well. Who was it that ended up with the floods and all that, and they had to play
New Orleans.
New Orleans, thank you. They had a good year, and now
I mean,
nowhere to be
Baltimore
found.
was 13-3 last year. So I mean, there's so many things that got to go right in football.
Yep. Is this still an AFC football league at this point?
I would agree. Yeah.
I mean, you've got a couple of decent teams on the NFC side, but I don't.
Dallas and a healthy Green Bay.
Yep.
Maybe Seattle. But, in the NFC, you got some AFC, you got a lot of teams that could beat a lot of teams.
Sure. It's almost unfortunate for some of those second tier in the AFC teams
Right.
that are much better than any
Look
NFC
at the
team.
NFC, I believe it's the West with the Carolina and New Orleans. Those teams are
Bunch of crap.
around 500. I mean, Seattle is capable of playing well, but
We haven't shot a show in a few weeks, and we've kind of missed the boat on the Redskins and what they've gone through of recent.
Sean Taylor recently passed away, and I actually thought the Redskins were going to take that emotion and
I think up
romp
until a certain
Buffalo,
point
but
they were.
And they play. A lot of people are questioning. They play this Thursday already, upcoming.
Right. Tough.
But hey, it is what it
It's going to take
is.
them a while to heal from that.
No, that's a tough
As
situation.
much as you try to concentrate on football, I'm sure
Yep.
it's in the back of their mind.
And,
they did a great job honoring Taylor by putting 10 men on the field defensively. In the first defensive set that they
He's a
had.
young man, 24 years old.
Yeah.
I mean, that's terrible. It's
Kid,
a terrible
wife.
tragedy, whether it's in football, baseball, or the local grocery clerk. It's a tough situation.
Sure. Anyway, so anything else around the NFL you want to talk about? I mean, kind of almost gearing
it's
up for
ironic.
playoff time.
It's ironic that my Dolphins could possibly go in 16 and the Patriots could go 6-0. We used to joke about it before, but I'll tell you what. When you lose to probably the second worst team in the league and you get crushed by them, there's a lot of issues in Miami. It
Sure.
really is. I mean, this is the saddest state of football that Miami's ever displayed. It's real
know if
bad.
you know
I'm
this or
emotional
not.
now because, we were joking about going 0-16. I don't think they can win a
And
game.
people might be watching right now and be like, the Dolphins, whatever. But keep in mind, I mean, you're as much of a Dolphin fan as some of these people are Patriot fans. And imagine the Patriots going through this. It is tough, and it makes you disinterested in football.
Yeah, and Miami's always been somewhat decent.
Right.
Not dominant, but... And this is just, when you're like a laughing stock and nothing can go right. And, the problem is now the coach... They might go, you start over, there's coordinators, there's systems. This is not like an easy fix,
Right.
per se. So,
And when was I don't know if you know this, if anyone's brought it up to you in conversation. When was the last time a team went winless? I mean, has it been a while, or?
yeah.
I'm legitimately asking you because I don't know. I'm curious.
It was 21 years ago, 1976. Tampa Bay Buccaneers went 0-14.
No
How about
kidding.
that?
Well, there you have
We
it.
think we're just a facade here, Rich Sporter?
I'd be interested.
We have information, baby.
I'd be interested to see you talk about some of those old school Dolphins holding on to their champagne corks. Should they really be celebrating if the Patriots do get a loss?
Let me tell you something. I was ready to buy some champagne this morning. I asked my wife, I'm sorry about this. This isn't really like, they
Very
wouldn't teach you this
professional.
at communication school, would they? But
The Connecticut
it's
School of
holidays. So
Broadcasting.
I would have brought some champagne as a gag.
Sure.
Into work and stuff like that, but
Didn't
yeah,
happen.
those guys are nervous about it because that's all they got. And like I said, the worst part is so ironic is imagine Miami having the worst record ever,
Right.
And the Patriots having the best, 16-0.
It's an ironic year. And
We might not make show to 200 because there could be, I could be floating down
could be a
Narragansett
suicide
Bay.
involved. Well, and what's interesting too is that 16-0 really holds a lot of credence because football is so different than baseball, especially, and basketball as well. Whereas football is a team sport, and something like a 16-0 season is a team regard, if you will. And it really would represent the sport well to see that happen because, again, football is so much more of a team sport.
And don't forget the
It's not
Dolphins only played
stats-driven.
14 games in 72.
Yep.
They were 14-0 plus the 3 games. They were 17-0.
They'd be the 16-0
So
team, regular season 16-0.
now, the unfortunate part is even if they go 16-0, you have to finish the deal.
Sure.
You could go 18-0 losing the Super Bowl. People are going to say, yeah, but
You go 16-0 and lose in the first round.
right.
You don't
It's
know.
not going to matter.
Right.
People can say, that was a 16-0 team. They lost in the first round.
And that'll be all the rage to talk about. If they do go 16-0, the first thing everyone's going to say is, hey, regular season's officially over. Is there some kind of exhale that happens now?
Absolutely.
Going into that first
Remember
round
the
of the
Minnesota
playoffs?
Vikings were 15-1?
Yep.
I mean, they had that high-powered offense just like the Pats, and they lost to Atlanta there. So,
With, ironically, I believe Randy Moss was playing for them at that time.
ironically.
Imagine that. Maybe Randy Moss is the connection to all good teams.
Interesting stuff, all things football. Well, obviously. keep
How much
you
time do we
updated.
have left there, Cody? Cody, who set up this entire set today?
10 minutes.
10 minutes.
Wow, that's a lot.
That's a lot of time to talk about baseball.
Baseball.
Right now, and by the time people see this show, something may have either changed or actually happened. But as of right this moment, as we're shooting on Tuesday evening, the latest is in the Santana sweepstakes is Lester, Crisp, and Lowry, the Red Sox Stars shortstop possibility for Santana, or that because the Twins have asked for permission to see Lester's medical records, and the Red Sox have granted that.
Now, I thought Masterson was part of that first deal.
Well, apparently, if Lester's not in the mix, then it's Ellsbury, Masterson, and Lowry. So there's a possibility there. I didn't hear about Masterson in the first deal, but again, anything can change between now and then. So a lot of people on Sports Talk saying, you're crazy to be getting rid of Ellsbury. He's so exciting to watch, blah, blah, blah. Fact of the matter is, you're looking at probably, I'm not going to say probably, you are looking at the best left-handed starter right now, which is much harder to come by than a speedster young guy who has potential but is not quite a star yet. I knew that they were throwing Ellsbury out in the playoffs so he could perform, do his thing, and then pitch him in the Hot Stove League, and that's exactly what they've done here. What do you think? I mean, you saw Ellsbury running around those bases like a madman. Do you care to see him go for someone like Santana?
No, I'd like them to keep Ellsbury. I think the Red Sox are negotiating from a position of strength. A, because they don't need
They won the World
Santana
Series.
as much as the Yankees do.
Right.
They do have some arms they can give up. If they can hold off the Twins and not give up Ellsbury, that would be a coup. I think the Twins are just trying to get as much as they can now, but eventually they could settle on something.
Well, if this
The
ends
Yankees
up going,
don't want to give up Chamberlain,
right.
and I think they don't want to give up Hughes either.
So that's two big, worthy
or
guys, I
Kennedy. And supposedly today they said that this is it. We're out of the negotiations, which is a bunch of crock. So that's the big. Now
And
supposedly
let's not
the
forget
Angels
there's a
are
new
into it.
regime in the Yankee organization, too.
Kind of.
Steinbrenner's kids
Yep.
are doing their thing.
So
this might be their first deal.
I think most people agree that if it's Lester, Coco, Lowry, and even Masterson, I think it'd be a coup. Now, I've said I'm kind of different than other people. I said even if you throw a lot of people believe Ellsbury is going to be your center fielder for the next 10 years.
Yeah.
And I've heard professional reporters, people who follow the sport for a living, say that also. But I'm kind of with you. I was hoping you'd be on the other side because we'd have a little controversy on our show. But
We'll find something.
Yeah, well, no doubt. But I mean, we're not going to do it just to do it. I would even probably give up Ellsbury to get a guy like Santana. I mean, obviously not all those guys plus Ellsbury, but a
Right.
combination. I'd hate
What
to see
this
him
comes
go.
down to is Ellsbury or Lester, really. Because I don't think anybody cares about Crisp going.
But Lester,
You don't care about Lester, huh?
Crisp is crisp.
Right.
Like as in crisp toast.
I don't think anybody
he's gone.
cares. That's
well,
what I'm saying,
He's
yeah.
going to be gone under India scenario just about.
Right.
So,
And the only problem people fail to realize with Lowry is the Red Sox organization in general, since the new regime has come in, has had a real hard time with shortstops. Pretty much since Nomar left, really.
Yep.
There's been a real tough time with shortstops. Now, do you keep the guy you have who can play shortstop pretty darn well, but he's your number 9 guy in the batting order? It's kind of a question as to
yeah, but
whether...
Lowry is still got a time away.
Yeah.
Masterson is still developing, although he could be a very good pitcher.
Sure.
But again,
You have Santana, who's a very good pitcher
That's
now.
what I tell people. You're getting Santana. Not only is he a good pitcher now, and he's got a couple of years left. He's 29 years old.
He's got more than a couple of years left.
So you got Santana, Beckett,
Yep.
Dice-K.
Yep.
I mean,
Who were expecting a big rebound
Schilling,
here.
we know what Schilling's about. I mean, you got this guy for 4 or 5 years. Who cares about these kids getting better down the road? I mean, there's 2 reasons you build up your farm system. One, obviously, is to have some homegrown talent.
Sure.
And save money.
Yep.
And 2 is you have these things to trade.
Right.
Now, Santana is going to cost a lot of money. Whether that'll cause a rift or not with a guy like Beckett, who signed kind of a low-rate contract,
Yep.
you don't know. But to get a pitcher like Santana, yeah, I would give up a lot. I really
Now,
I
Santana's
like
a
him.
one-year deal, right? And
Well,
whether or not they give him an extension.
You're right. I'm sure that would be.
Santana did say earlier this week, and again, they're negotiating, so you
Right.
don't know what's right or wrong, that he would not waive his no-trade clause if he didn't get an extension. That was an earlier
I
comment.
heard different. I heard that if he gets to spring training,
Yeah.
he would
would not waive his
no.
no-trade
In other words,
clause.
he doesn't gonna go to spring training and then have everything happen after
So
that.
basically, he wants something to happen now. And
But
you know what?
there's
With
been a
so
lot of
many
different
teams in the
reports.
mix,
I mean,
something-
even with California now, who were trying to get Cabrera from Florida.
Yep.
That's kind of up in the air now. So maybe they're looking at Santana. I mean, I think
I like giving up Ellsbury, Masterson, and Lowry. I'd love to get rid of Chris, but
No,
if it means getting rid of Lester, I don't like that.
I like the
idea.
Lester, Crisp, Lowry,
Oh,
and
so then we do disagree on that.
even Masterson. Yeah, I would rather you're getting rid of Lester,
Yeah, but think
who's okay, and you're bringing in Santana. You
Lester
said
has
he's
some
the
pretty
best.
darn good potential.
So what? Potential. You're getting a guy that's
but you have
mastered the
Wakefield
potential.
and Schilling. They're like 100 together.
Yeah, and
years old.
Yeah, and how old is Santana?
You just said
He's
he's what,
29.
20? Is he 29?
He's 29 years old.
Okay, well, but
Yeah,
we've
so you don't
seen-
need Lester.
We've seen though in the past 5 years how starting pitchers who are great in their career get to a certain point and can make that adjustment in the way they pitch to continue their career to be 40. So you're looking at the possibility of getting Santana for maybe 10 years. You never know if you lock him in.
Well, that's what I'm saying.
No.
I don't understand your point. My point is, if you're bringing in Santana and you're getting for a 5 or 6 year contract, which he wants,
Right.
Why are you so worried about Lester?
Because
I'd rather keep Ellsbury. He's a center fielder, can steal bases, he's quick, and he's proved he can play
First of all, the
in
Red
limelight.
Sox could care less about fast players. We've seen that for a gazillion years now. They could care less about steals for the most part. And the fact of the matter is that
I think most Red Sox fan, and all due respect to you,
yeah,
or undue respect,
we don't
No.
have any respect around here.
I think most fans would love. I think 2 guys the Red Sox and their fans want to see untouchable.
Yeah.
Is Buchholz
Yeah.
and Ellsbury. If you took a poll, those
I
would
think
be
you're
the 2
falling
guys.
into the emotional thing when you say that you don't want to see Ellsbury go. There was a reason why you let the dude run in the last part
He
of the
just
year.
didn't run, dude. He hit.
I understand.
He played the field.
Yes, I know.
I mean,
He
he
hit
didn't
like
just
9
run.
doubles
I mean, he
in the
wasn't a guy who
playoffs.
just stole bases.
I understand.
The guy proved he could play in the limelight in a big game. He
He's
came
new
up
to
in big
pitchers
spots.
too. Let's not forget. Pitchers didn't
That's
know how
true.
to pitch
Absolutely.
him. So, fact of the matter is, the guy's a budding star. Perhaps let him go. You don't know. What if you end up with nothing? At least with Santana, you know what you're getting.
Yeah, but again, you're in a
lefty
position
pitcher.
of strength.
A lefty pitcher.
Minnesota cannot sign them, and if the Yankees remain steadfast with their demands, not wanting to give Chamberlain and whatever, you can say, no, listen, we told you Ellsbury and Buchholz, that's not a deal. Pick one of these.
So you think the Twins will end up with
Pick
little
one of these
choices?
2 deals. No, the Twins are going to go back to the Yankees and say, listen, we're ready to pull the trigger on with the Red Sox. Are you sure you don't want to throw up Hughes or Chamberlain?
Right.
I think the Yankees at the last minute will buckle because
That's a good possibility.
Number 1, they need a number 1 pitcher, and number 2, their dreaded rivals would have him.
Well,
but
and
I think that's what happened. If that does not happen with New York, I think they'll go back to Boston and say, listen, let's get the best thing we can because we
So
can't
the Twins
pay.
might be playing them both, possibly.
Of course they are, and they can't get that they can't sign Santana.
Right.
So they wanted pitching. That's a key too. They wanted 2 pitchers. So you get Lester, Crisp, Lowry, and Masterson. You get your 2 pitchers. You got a serviceable center fielder,
Which
and
they
you got a
need.
left-hander who's very young, albeit not as good as Santana. So I think if the Red Sox can just hold
I
on to
really
their
like
cards,
Lester.
and you know what?
I like Lester.
Well, here's the worst that could happen: the team remains the same.
Right, and there's certainly no problem there. But man, Santana would add some stuff.
Santana would add some stuff, but I think
How much
if you
time we
could
have
keep
left, Cody?
Ellsbury and Buchholz.
15 seconds.
15 seconds. We better wrap it up. You see it on the screen there. YouTube.com keyword IASS. What do you say we actually upload a show this week?
Well, you're in charge of the technical department.
I'm going to do it.
I vote for it. I raise my hand.
So we're going to upload this show. I can actually probably do it at school now.
Do it. Just do it.
I'll have my kids
like
watch
Nike.
You know what we need to do in the middle of the show? Give them an extra credit word of the day.
Whatever
And
you
then
want
we'll
to
see
do.
if they really watch. Okay.
Worldwide. We're pimping all over the world, as my friends say on the radio station.
Thank you, DP. I'm Scott Cray. Thanks to Cody for setting everything up and being our fine director. We'll see you next week.